Step 1. Intro. So, you're interested in LARPing, are you? Before we begin, you probably have a few questions. What is LARPing? LARP is an acronym that stands for Live Action Role Play, which was inspired by tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons. Since the late 1970s, people have been getting together and actually acting out their characters' actions and feelings rather than just rolling a few dice. It doesn't stop at just role-playing, it goes as far as actually fighting each other. Don't worry, the fights are made as safe as possible thanks to those arranging the game, called Game Masters or GMs, who determine the rules and the setting of a LARP, and may also influence an event and act as referees while it's taking place. So now that you have a feel for LARP, why don't you get started? Step 2. The search begins. Let's begin, shall we? First, we need to find you a LARP to go to. Remember, a quick Google search could lead you to games that are being played in your area. In your search, you may realize there are many different settings or genres to play, such as medieval, fantasy, horror, modern, science fiction, and many more. When searching for a LARP, remember to keep in mind your real-world schedule and how it will coincide with the game. I found one! Once you've found a LARP that you think you'll enjoy, it's time to create a character. Step 3. Creation. The first thing to do is to think of what kind of character you'd like to play. A character is a persona that you'll be acting out the actions for during the LARP. Remember, most LARPs last more than one day. Many run for at least 40 hours, straight through, meaning in some cases, Friday night to Sunday midday. With that in mind, making a character that isn't easy to act out probably isn't a good idea. Having bad knees, for instance, would make it difficult to play a character that enjoys running everywhere. Follow the character creation section of the LARP you've chosen's website, and remember to read the rulebook as you make the character. It is important to follow the rules both for the sake of the game and the other players around you. Step 4. Costuming. The rules expand beyond just being a character. They encompass the whole world in which you'll be playing. It is important to dress and act like you belong there. Say you're going to a medieval fantasy LARP. Don't dress like a robot and/or bring a Nerf gun. Keeping it time period correct is the best thing you can do, and there are plenty of places to do that. A boffer, or foam latex weapon, and/or spell packets, made from small amounts of birdseed wrapped in fabric, then tied off, will become very important to both you and your character. You can get a costume, which goes from clothing to leather to metal armor, either online, or you can make your own. If you're going to make your own, remember that thrift stores and fabric shops will be your best friends. Remember, if you have any questions, there are people at the game who have been doing this for a very long time and are willing to help you. Step 5. Packing and travel. Remember that you'll be leaving the comforts of your home, and you're going to need a few things for the event ahead of you. Remember to pack all the amenities that you'll need. your weapon or weapons, or spell packets if needed, your costuming and makeup if necessary, the money to pay for the event, sleeping bag, pillow, blankets, even out-of-game things, such as your wallet with identification, and a mobile phone, just in case. After traveling to the location of the campsite that the LARP will be held, go through the sign-in phase, pay for the event, and the LARP will give you your character sheet and other starting package in-game items. And the countdown to game on begins. Step 6. In-game versus out-of-game. Those people that are willing to give you advice on your costume are also willing to give you character advice. How would your character interact with others? Would your character say or do something completely different from what you would do? How well do you think you'll stay in-game or IG over the course of the event? Or better yet, how well do you think you'll keep out-of-game or OOG distractions to a minimum? That's what we're here to do. Help you buff out the edges of your character. Don't mention out-of-game things, such as technology, classes, work, and other such things while being in-game. Do try to keep the in-game atmosphere not only for you, but the people around you. Remember, you're not the only one there to enjoy the event. If you think you're acting out of game, try to rein it in. There's no shame in trying too hard to stay in-game. There are also those ever-present experienced gamers that are willing to help you out. Don't. Acting rude is something you shouldn't do. Playing a character that's rude or even evil is okay, but actively trying to make the game not fun isn't. Being constructive and trying to help others. That will help the game process and in the end make it fun for everyone. Don't. Swinging too hard with your weapon. You want to hurt the character, not the person playing the character. Keep in mind the safety of other players. Step 7. The game itself. The LARP will have its own rules and regulations that characters are supposed to abide by while the game is being played. Following these rules for gameplay such as a character dying, coming back from death, boffer combat, whether it be blades, spell packets, or even a LARP that includes guns, which would be modified Nerf brand guns. character race, such as human, elf, dwarf, etc. Interaction with other races, weapon length or shield size, and many more. The only other real tips to give to you during your weekend excursion are to be safe and have fun, because having fun and being safe are the most important things one can do during a LARP. Step 8. Aftergame. Congratulations, you've successfully made it through your first live action roleplay. All there is to do now is to keep these tips in mind, ask questions, have fun, and look forward to your next event.